Hey guys, it's Sam. Today I thought that I would chat about how I kind of ended up in the Hobonichi weeks, how I'm feeling, or I guess I should say again, why I ended up in the Hobonichi weeks, kind of how I'm feeling about planner systems going forward, and I thought I'd talk about my choices for 2023 so far, because I still have not made all of my choices. Not that there are going to be many, just I guess some still indecision, which I know is something that a lot of you guys can relate to. There are some people who, have, it's not a lot of people, but like some people just don't get it and they're like, oh, why are you making such a big deal out of this or whatever? Because I can, I guess. Yeah. So yeah, I guess that's the long and short of that. Anyway, I can't make the light situation really go away. This is what happens in the fall/winter, and I have a portion of this giant window blocked off, but I'm not going to play this game. So you'll have to excuse this light, and we're just going to move on. So I have been this year mainly back and forth between a couple of things. The Hobonichi weeks is where I started the year. There's my cuticle oil. Hobonichi weeks is where I started the year, and I bounced into rings. I think this year I was just in A6 and pocket rings. Yeah, I think I set up a personal, but I actually don't even think I used it for even a day. I also was using, let's see, the Pocket Moleskine Weekly, which I really do like. I love this paper so much. And as you can see, this was written in more recently, so I did attempt to use it probably one day when the Hobonichi paper or tiny grids were ticking me off. Some days I just can't do it. So there was the Moleskine and the rings and the Hobonichi, and then I have been not consistent lately, but I also had added this A6, which August, I was doing it in August, and I made it through September, and I haven't updated this in a bit, and that's kind of where I usually get with the whole journal. And this was like a journal situation, and that's my history with trying to have a journal. So I'm not sure why I continue to force it. I think that I'll be much better off going forward just using my back pages however I feel like it in the moment in the Hobonichi weeks, because the mega version does have enough room for me to use it as a slash journal, which I did this year a little bit, just a tiny bit, and I gave up on it. Gosh, I don't know. I gave up on it at some point because I got so tired of trying to make the pens work, and I understand that I'm more particular than other people, but even the Hobonichi pen that you get free with your Hobonichi order, I was happy making that work on this 8-pound paper that I print my own inserts from. This is all Unijetstream paper, and I love rings, but there's that whole love-hate relationship when it comes to both of these systems. Rings, it kind of has a romantic feeling to me because I just feel like old school planner, I don't know, 90s planners are rings, and I love carrying these little things. I love printing things out. I love popping them in. I love that if I am not into something right now, I can pull the pages out and just pretend like they weren't there, and I don't have to move everything over. So if I'm still using all of the notes pages, if I'm still using the trackers, the only thing I have to do is pop in new yearly, monthly, and weekly pages. And I really liked the Pocket, specifically the Pocket Plus pages inside of a Pocket Planner, because it was so very portable and it fit in practically everything. Even though the Hobonichi Weeks is not a large planner, it's obviously taller, and so this fits into more stuff. So pocket rings is definitely something that I will likely go back to, and I think that I just need to get over the fact that this is probably just going to be like a push-pull. I'm a Libra, so it's like all of the balance that you need. So sometimes I feel rings, and sometimes I think I'm leaning more these days to the bound book more than the rings. But it is basically most of the time a toss-up. So if you've seen my videos in the last few months, Hobonichi Weeks was not what I was going for. I honestly thought this year that I was not going to order anything from Hobonichi. As like the weeks come in August, I was like, you know, this is going to be the year that I don't even have to order anything from Hobonichi, and so I'm not going to do it. And then I started thinking about, like, I don't know if you guys do this, but when I'm in these decision-making, like, processes, I, like, sit in the decision as if I've already made it and, like, envisioning my life without the Hobonichi. And just that very act, I, like, got out my Hobonichi and I was like, you know, so far, this has been my favorite way that I've set this up, and every year I feel like that. Every year I feel like this, but I like this year better than this year, and I was just like, oh, this, I feel...
I'm not sure I understand.
Why are you even listening to me? Like, I've tried to kind of recreate that feeling in other kinds of planners, and it's just not there. And so this was like the first thing. And I started like flipping through things. So I was looking like at the front, and then I was looking through here, and I started my Hobonichi a little more early than I normally do, because we were taking the trip to San Francisco in December of last year, and I wanted to journal about it. But since it was happening so late in the year, I wanted to be able to like carry those memories with me throughout the year of 2022 instead of just writing it down at the end of 2021. And so like I was looking through here and all of these memories that we made, and I was like, you didn't even like keep to that, you know, and it like made me really sad. And then I was like, well, what can I get that will like replace this, you know? Because as much as I like planning in this kind of book, it doesn't give me those like, I mean, not to say that I don't like thumbing through, but it doesn't give me the same like memories, the same like, oh, this, you know, just like thumbing through. It's like a hybrid planner / diary in itself. Even if you don't use the back pages for journaling, I think that a bound book speaks more to these are the pages of my life than rings. And as much as I love this little planner, that doesn't give me the same thing either, because there's less places to put that kind of thing. And the A6 could be that, and the Hobonichi cousin could be that. But it's all about if I can keep up with it or not. And if I have to be honest with myself, I'm not good at keeping up with multiple books, period. Sometimes I like to think that I can say, this is my planner, this is my journal. But even in that, I don't find myself coming up with a time on a daily basis to keep up with multiple books, period, whether or not they have the same purpose or not. So I was like, okay, I'm going to order at least the Hobonichi Weeks and see, because I feel like I'll be sad if I make the decision not to do that. So I did, and if you've seen any of my recent videos, I went a little bit crazy. I did get a regular weeks and a mega weeks. Actually, in my first order, I got 2 regular weeks. Yeah, I think I got 2 regular weeks, and then I was like, oh, what if I just got the mega? Didn't worry about using all of the pages. They're there for me if I use them, and they're not if I don't. And then I went to order, and I wasn't happy with any of the colors, and I ended up with 400 million colors. And in the end, I did choose the yellow, which it's still not like my perfect yellow. I'm still kind of low-key mad at Hobonichi for not having anything other than like just a bunch of Easter basket colors for this year. So many people are into like a more mature look or a more earthy vibe, like bohos everywhere. Some people just are not exciting color people and just like to wear brown and olive all the time, like me. So I really wish that they would have come up with that, and I'm definitely going to go into the comments and be like, you guys got to get your act together next year, because I can't live my life like this. So yellow was, I felt like, the least of the not me feeling colors. Not that I don't like yellow. I do love yellow, but I'm more of like I'm a more of a mustard yellow kind of person, not the like really bright yellow. So anyway, that's kind of like how I've ended up back in the Hobonichi. But I thought that now some people are like, turn this off, whatever, we're not going to listen to you talk about your planner all day. But that's what you go to a planner channel for, right? So many people have told me that like listening to my thought process has helped them identify like pitfalls, reasons why things haven't worked for them. So here we go. Let's just go with reasons why I have decided that I'm going forward with the Hobonichi weeks next year. And I'll also give like a little bit of a disclaimer here. There are a lot of different options out there for Hobonichi weeks, like whatever's options, like not Hobonichi weeks, but like the same thing. And I will be doing a video soon on a bunch of those alternatives in case this isn't what you want. Ultimately, even though there are things about the Hobonichi weeks that still annoy the crap out of me and that I wish would change or would be improved upon, at this point, I'm still going with the Hobonichi weeks for several reasons. One of them is that it's dated and I can't handle undated planners. I want to, but then I give up. I'm unmotivated to finish, and so that's just like I don't have to do anything to this planner, and that means something to me. Also, unlike the rings, I don't like to keep a giant bunch of chunky rings, so I take pages out of here all of the time. This bound book is going to have all forward information, any appointments that come up, and it's going to have all of the information in there from the past, so I can go back and look at what happened in January, in May. And when I have an appointment come up in December, I can put it there as well. And I don't have to worry about putting a post-it on something. Even though I'll probably still write a post-it on it, I'm going to turn to the page and put it there. And it's not going to be, oh, I forgot to put it in my planner and now I've missed an appointment. So anytime that I feel like I don't know what kind of pen I'm going to use, because this paper still makes me a little bit crazy, I'll put an appointment. Let's just see. So I know I have to travel for work on this day. And so I've put this in here on this piece of tape from Hobonichi because I don't know what pen I'm going to be using. Although these days I've just been choosing these Sarasa vintage colors since I was unsure. And I know that you don't have to make your planner look neat or matchy. I am happiest when the pen is the same throughout the whole week. So I put this here to remind myself, and I'm not going to miss that. I mean, you can't miss that. But I could misplace a post-it note that I needed to move when I didn't have pages in my planner. So that's one of the reasons why I chose the Hobonichi. The next one would be that it just basically has everything I need. And I'm not gonna, I mean, you'll see it in a flip through anyway, but I like to try to keep my more private information private for as much through the year as I can. But like even this, I like this, I do. And I like the way it looks when you put stickers here. It's a look that I've gotten accustomed to, and I'm kind of feeling all the feels about it. And when I look at another book that doesn't have this, because they're not going to, because it's not a Hobonichi, I miss it. And I'm like, oh, I could put my stickers there, but it won't be the same. And I don't utilize this that often, but I could in the future. And now that it's in English, I very well may. This is where I keep track of my cycle, intimacy, that kind of thing, and I am so used to using this kind of layout. I find something that's very similar to it to put in rings, but again, it's just not the same. The calendars for me, This has just enough space. I love that the monthly has the grid. Really wish that one side of the page did too, but sometimes you just gotta let stuff go. And I like that you have several months into the new year in here, because sometimes you do have appointments that you're making at the end of the year toward the beginning of the new year, and I like that I can put them here. And then the other thing that I do, if it's an appointment that is farther out than March, like a dentist appointment, we go every 6 months, I'm gonna just leave a note here, either on a post-it or just writing it on the calendar that there is an appointment in a future month, so that when I come through with my new planner, I can match up all that information. And then of course the weeks are all there for you. You don't have to add anything or subtract anything. And then especially with the Mega, you can do anything that you want to with these pages. Sometimes I minimally print things off to put in the back because I don't want to hand draw it. But for the most part, I just let the planner be what it is and like make like a tracker or whatever. So I have a couple of these just because I didn't want to take the time to do these things. I've obviously abandoned this as soon as the year started. I'm horrible with long-term trackers. This is good in theory, and in the past I've kept up with it, but my bounce from Hobonichi to rings this year has ruined my progress with this tracker. But I like these, and I'll probably do them again for the next year. I mean, I've already bought these, so why not? I kept up really well until recently with this in my rings, but I didn't give myself enough pages in my Hobonichi because I've really beat my reading goal this year, and I wasn't prepared to do so well in this book. Here I put what we did last year for Christmas, and then put a Christmas for this year in here. This was supposed to go really well, and obviously I haven't used this at all. I guess we just kind of wing it. TV watch list, which obviously I haven't kept up with that either. The YouTube, haven't kept up with this. Where I stopped these pages and was just going with the whole like journaling section. And then, gosh, is this turning into a flip through of some kind? Not really. But I tried, gosh, I abandoned it. And honestly, from here, a lot of this has been pen tests. Me trying to come to terms with not loving the way pens write on this paper. And I usually resign myself to the very back pages, but it's really just spilled. And I'm just like, I'm never going to use these pages anyway, so what does it matter? So these are horribly ugly pages. But yeah, that's kind of like how I worked through it. When I was thinking about how I wasn't going to have a Hobonichi for the next year, and I started feeling sad about it, I was like, I'm just going to scribble all over these pages and I'm going to figure something out because I feel like I have to use this planner. And then this is the most disjointed brain fart ever. So yeah, it has everything that I really need. And then the fact that I can just use this as a journal if I want to is another huge positive for the Mega Weeks specifically. So that's how I kind of came back around to, I am never using Hobonichi Weeks again, ever. And getting rid of all of my covers to, you know what, the Hobonichi is not so bad. And I will say this as well. Even when I was not happy with the Hobonichi, this is not the same as this. Like sometimes this shape kind of bothers me, but when it's flat and open and it's just this nice, beautiful, like square, something is, I just love it. So I'm going to finish the year with Hobonichi Weeks. You heard it here. I said it. Somebody hold me to it, please. It is October. I am finishing the year in the Hobonichi Weeks, and I'm going to begin 2023 in the Hobonichi Weeks. And if I start feeling unsettled or whatever, I know that my rings are here for me. But this is my plan. I'm not even sure if I talked about all the things that I intended to talk about, because I talked about different things than I thought that I would talk about, as well as things that I started to talk about. So hopefully this video made some sort of sense, but I really would like to know what your thoughts are and where you are in the whole planning 2023 process. If you have decided on a planner, if you're using a brand new planner, have you ditched every possible variety of planner you've ever tried and you're trying something completely new, or are you going back to an old faithful? Or are you deciding that you're not going to decide? I'd love to chat with you about it in the comments below. I hope that this video was in some way helpful, useful, at least entertaining, that I can't keep my life together. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're new around here and don't want to miss out on all of this mess, don't forget to subscribe. If you don't follow me yet on Instagram, I have been doing reels over there and posting my pages as much as possible. I have a link to my Instagram in the comments below as well. Thanks so much as always for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye guys.